Hello and welcome to yoga. Thanks for joining me. My name is Joanne. Let's start today's practice on the back. So we're gonna come to like constructive rest position. So I want you to grab a blanket or a block. And if you need support for the head laying down, if the chin lifts, you'll grab something for the back of your head so you can elongate the neck. So we're gonna come onto the back. And again, you could use a blanket if you need under the knees, but we're gonna have the knees bent and the feet on the floor. And then we want the feet about a hip width apart, a comfortable distance from the glutes. And make sure the knees are tracking parallel. And again, make sure the head is long so the chin's not lifted, otherwise place a prop under the head. And then bring your arms by your side. And let's let the palms face up at the beginning. We're just gonna kind of tune into our breath here at the beginning of the practice. So maybe walk your shoulders down under your chest a little bit so the shoulders are away from the ears, neck is long, feet are grounded and soft. And make sure the back is comfortable. So the lower back lifts a little bit away from the floor here, and that's normal. So you might pick up the hips and then set them down and just make sure that's comfortable. Go ahead and let the eyes close. And allow the lips to part slightly so the jaw is soft. We're going to bring awareness to the breath. As it moves in and out of the nose. So real important here that the back of the head, neck is long. Again, the back of the neck will lift a little away from the floor as well. So if the chin is lifted like this, see how that crunches in the back of your neck? You'll want to take a thin, anything, a small height, probably like an inch or two, under the head, so that you can have a nice long neck. So again, eyes are closed, lips are parted, jaw is soft, brow is soft, eyelids heavy. And begin to bring awareness to your breath. You might take this time at the beginning to set an intention or a dedication for your practice. If that resonates with you, so choosing one thing to focus on. And repeat that to yourself 3 times. And then beginning to deepen the breath if you haven't already. So we breathe in through the nose. And this is a nice opportunity on the back. I know we don't start this way very often, but a nice opportunity if you're new to breath work in yoga to place your right hand on your lower abdomen and your left hand on your rib cage on the side. So you can kind of follow the breath with the hands. So again, we begin the breath in the lower abdomen and the belly. So the belly puffs out like a balloon as we inhale. Ribs separate wide on the floor, side to side. And finally, the chest and clavicle bones, collarbone will rise at the top of the inhale. And as you exhale through the nose, the wave reverses. So chest comes down, ribs come toward each other, and we squeeze the navel gently toward the spine. And then the inhale should automatically reinflate your belly. And as you begin to work with the breath in that way, just observing the top and bottom of each breath, that pause, that turn and shift of the energy. We want the breath to feel like it's moving smoothly and freely. So sometimes if you're tight or you are a shallow breather or you're stressed, it might not feel so smooth and easy to do that full 3-part breath. And that's okay. Just observe that and see if with each breath you can find that sense of fluidity with the breath, that ease with the breath. So nice deep inhales and exhales. And I find too, if I'm thinking about it too much or trying too hard, that's also sometimes a hindrance. So sometimes it's just nice to just let it go. So just don't even think about it and just try to breathe fully. Each exhale, we're letting go of tension in the body, releasing anything that we don't need. And each inhale, we're opening space, filling the lungs, taking in fresh oxygen, circulating our blood. Let's take a couple more breaths that way. Notice if there's anywhere you're holding tension. See if you can soften. Good. And then as we breathe, we're going to bring a slight pelvic tilt to our abdomen and our low back. So it's not a big movement. So as you inhale, you're going to lift the low back. So you're going to rock a little bit forward on your sacrum, the lower bone, that triangular bone at the base of your spine. So arching the back just a tiny bit. A little bit up as you inhale, and as you exhale, you're going to squeeze the navel toward the spine and squeeze the abdomen, so you're tilting your pelvis the other way. So your hip points will rock forward just a little bit. So you're pressing the low back down. The inhale is a gentle lift. The exhale, a little squeeze of the abdomen, press the low back to the floor. So we're rocking the pelvis slightly forward and slightly back. We're not lifting the hips or moving anything too big. So nice and small. Inhale, open. Exhale, press. Inhale, breathe in, lift a little bit. And exhale, press. One more time. And then return the spine to neutral. So you're nice and even. Maybe shimmy the hips just a little bit. So the low back's a little away from the floor. You're on the sacrum. Take a breath in and out. And then we're going to bring our palms down toward the floor. You're going to walk your heels in just a little bit closer toward the glutes. And then again, inch the fingers down toward the heels. Neck and spine are neutral here. And then we're going to add just a little more lift here into the pelvic tilt. So we're going to bring a little more movement. If this is comfortable, if this bothers you in any way, then you can skip it. Maybe do a few more pelvic tilts. So neck is neutral. Make sure that there's space here between chin and chest. Your chin is not lifting. Nice and long in the back of your neck. And then we're going to inhale, press into the hands and feet evenly. So not a lot of pressure, just gentle. Inhale, peel the back up as you squeeze the glutes gently, lift up, and then exhale, lower. One thing to avoid here, and you might use a block between your knees if you have one, is letting the knees splay out. So keeping the knees parallel, feet parallel. Inhale, peel up. You might start slow and then begin to move a little more as the back warms up. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift. And make sure you're not looking down. So keep the gaze straight up. Exhale, lower. Good. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. We'll try 2 more of those. So at your pace and with your breath, inhale, maybe a little higher if that's comfortable, bringing the chest toward your chin. Pressing into the hands a little more. Exhale, down. And one more time, inhale up. And exhale, lower. Good. Come back to that neutral spine again. Take your arms out into a T position, palms down on the floor. Walk your feet out a little bit again. So to a comfortable level, feet still parallel, and then just windshield wiper your legs gently, side to side. Good, one more time. We'll come back with the feet on the floor. Good, and then you're going to take one knee into the chest and wrap around your shins. Squeeze the knee in. Keeping the other foot on the floor and the knee bent. Breathe into the back. Stretching out the lower back a little bit. You can even pull this leg a little bit off toward the armpit if that feels good. Getting a little more into the inner thigh, or maybe you want to bring it straight in, more to the back. Maybe go a little the other way for the hips. So kind of play around with that. You might just move a little bit side to side in that stretch. Keeping the breath moving, keeping the back stable and on the ground. Good, and then from here with the knees squeezed in wherever you are, make some circles with your big toe. Getting some movement into the ankle joint as big as you can, and spread the toes as you move the foot around. Broaden your toes out and then reverse. So trying to stretch the toes out might feel a little strange or difficult, but we want to kind of stretch the feet. Flex the foot and point. One more time, flex and point. And then shake it out a little bit, squeeze the knee in. And then release that foot to the floor. We'll take the other knee into the chest and give it a good squeeze. Other foot is on the floor. Neck is long, neutral. Breathe. And then again, maybe moving a little bit with the leg. Back is stable, squeezing the knee in toward the chest, maybe toward the armpit side to get the inner thigh. Maybe across just a little bit to get the hip, outer thigh. Whatever feels good here for you, just kind of squeezing. And then coming through center again, we'll rotate the foot, circles with the toe, spread the toes. Go the other direction. Keep the breath moving. Good, let's flex and point. And flex and point. Good, release that foot down to the floor. And then we're going to take both knees. Let's bring both knees into the chest just for a moment. Squeeze the knees in. You might gently rock side to side, or you might make some circles on the back. You can play with different widths between your knees here to change the release on the back. And then take it in the opposite direction if you're making circles. Keep the breath moving. Good, and then this next move is optional. So if this does not work for you, please don't do it. We're gonna take the hands behind the thighs. We're gonna rock and roll. So we're gonna let the spine be a little bit round. We're gonna inhale forward and exhale back. So I really encourage you, if this doesn't work for you, not to do it. Just kind of fun if it works. Skip it if it doesn't cause any pain. You might balance when you come up on your sitting bones to engage your core a little bit. That's not a fun challenge if you want. And if you're more advanced and you want to do this with straight legs holding the toes, that's an option, which I haven't done in a long time. So whatever you want. And then let's come back. And then we're going to cross legs and come up to stand. Rolling all the way up. See if you can use your core to lift yourself up to a standing position. Okay, we're going to start at the center of the mat here, feet hip width apart. Shrug your shoulders up by your ears and down your back. We're going to find a nice neutral mountain pose. So we want our pelvis neutral, hips facing straight ahead, and engage your core a little bit. Lift through the core, drop the shoulders away from the ears. Retract your chin slightly so that the head is directly above the spine. So a lot of times our head is forward, texting, computer, everything we do. So make sure you're nice and tall, a little retracted, length of the back of your neck. So I'm going to do a few standing neck releases here. So bring those shoulders down by the side, heavy suitcases in the hand, breathe in deep. And as you exhale, just bow the chin to the chest. I want you to be firm in your feet and light on the feet. We're engaging the leg muscles a little so they're lifting away from the knees. So you might feel this all the way down the back. Again, neutral pelvis. And then just begin to gently rock side to side. Good, you might coordinate that movement with your breath. Exhale comes forward, inhale opens to the side. Just feeling this across the back of the neck and shoulders. Good, and then drop the chin to the chest. Inhale, take your head upright. Let's squeeze the shoulders up by the ears. We're gonna pull them back behind us. Squeeze the shoulder blades behind you and open the chest. Pelvis stays neutral. We're gonna take the arms out to a T. Inhale, keeping the feet nice and aligned. Exhale, we're gonna swing one arm under the other. So eagle arms, you're gonna grab either shoulders. You can have hands back to back or palm to palm, as long as it doesn't cause you to torque the wrist. So whatever works for you. So again, my posture is still tall. I haven't arched in the back at all. I'm nice and neutral. Engage the core. Looking in front of you. And then wherever you are with your eagle arms, we're just going to kind of make some circles with the elbows. So you can even do that holding your shoulders. Beginning to open up the upper back between the shoulder blades, that muscle that connects into the neck from the shoulder. Sorry, I have a cat fur ball and I just swept. Okay. Circles with the elbow, breathing as you move. Deep breath. So visualize yourself filling the lungs into the back of the body here. Reverse those circles. Making sure that the neck stays neutral here, so you don't want the head forward or back. Just moving the shoulders. Good, and then notice which elbow is on top here. So we're gonna release out of that. Good, and let's shake the arms a little bit, sway them around, some circles. Good, come back to center, shrug the shoulders here, open the chest. Inhale, arms to a T. Exhale, switch the cross. The other elbow should be on top now. And then find the arm position that works for you. Make sure your spine is neutral. Neck is long, and then just begin to circle the elbows. Keep the breath moving. Nice, let's reverse our circle, other direction. Bringing the breath to the shoulder blades, all the way to the tops of the lungs. Good, and then we'll pause. Good, release the arms. Let's sway around again, shake it out, just gently, kind of floppy yoga here. Circling the arms around the body. You might even use fists and kind of thump the kidney band at the back of the body. You can kind of get a little activation there as well. We call that the gate of life in Chinese medicine. So that's a nice way to give yourself a little boost of energy if you want to activate that area. Good. And then slow your arms down and come back to stand. Shrug the shoulders and open the chest. I'm going to come to the front of the mat. I'm going to do a couple half salutes. So feet again are parallel hip width, neutral pelvis and spine, heavy suitcases in the hands. So as we come up, I want you to think about keeping your core active. And then as we reach back behind us, we're not going to move the spine or tilt the pelvis forward. We're going to keep it neutral. So reach back to open the chest and stretch the pecs. Inhale, lift. Good, and then as you exhale, I want you to think about length. Soften the knees and pull the arms back behind you. Lengthen, fold over the legs with bent knees. Bringing the hands next to the feet. Bend the knees as much as you need so the hands touch down and then the forehead toward your shins. So you can even rest the torso on the thighs here and be very bent. Good, and from here, wherever you are, just know where you are. We're going to come into flat back and lengthen the spine halfway to the floor. Inhale, lift. Exhale, we fold. Let the arms dangle and you're going to pull up slowly round. Feel a nice stretch in the back as you roll yourself up. Shrug your shoulders as you open the chest. Come back to your neutral pelvis. Inhale, lift up. Good, and then exhale, swan dive. And again, if anything's uncomfortable, don't do it. Forward bend. Inhale, lengthen your spine halfway. And exhale, bow. Inhale, pull and roll up, maybe hands on the thighs. A little resistance as you rise up. Open the chest, mountain pose, neutral pelvis. Inhale, reach back. Touch hands and then exhale, swan dive. Soften the knees. Back to your forward bend. Let's inhale, flat back one more time. And we'll exhale and bow. From here, you're going to plant the hands next to your feet and take a giant step back with one of your legs. I'm starting with my right leg back. And we're going to drop the back knee and uncurl the back toes. You might need a cushion under your knee. So I encourage you to use that if you'd like. These are a little creaky these days, so I'm going to use a cushion. And the front knee is directly above the heel. Real important. You can adjust the back leg back or closer depending on flexibility here. I want you to think about scissoring your legs. Top of the foot is grounded, front heel is grounded. Pull the legs, the feet toward each other to scissor the legs and then come up. We want to have a neutral pelvis here, so we're stretching this back hip flexor. Good, and then reach the arms up nice and tall. Soften your shoulders as you lengthen through your fingers. Keep that core lifted and engaged as you lift out of the back. Deep breath in and out. Breathe in together. And then we're going to exhale and float the hands down to frame the foot. And then we're gonna walk our hands back for half monkey. So draw this front foot toward your face. Hips come back. You might use blocks here if you need. Lengthen the heart forward. This leg can be bent, doesn't have to be straight. Soften. And then think about pulling this extended leg sitting bone back to the back of your mat as you reach your heart forward. That'll activate that stretch a little more if you need. You might be feeling it without doing that. That's fine. Breathe. Nice space into that hamstring. So the hamstrings can, if you sit too long, really pull on the low back. So we always want to give a little attention to stretching those since we tend to sit a lot. Take one more breath in here. So always feeling a little movement with your stretch as you breathe. Slowly we'll walk the hands down to frame the foot. Plant the foot. Let's tuck our back toes under and lift the back knee. We're going to take the hips high and slowly step back to a downward dog. First downward dog, let's pedal the feet. Walk your dog. Kind of warm it up. So in downward dog, again, we want the fingers right on the mat. Activate all the muscles in the hands. Inside of the elbow forward, head relaxed. Hips lift, chest is melting through the shoulders, and we'll paddle the feet. The heels may or may not touch down, that's fine. Probably won't. Okay, so from downward dog, we're gonna just float ourselves. So hopefully you won't need to move the hands and the feet around if we're in a good position here. So we're gonna float up to plank. So shoulders come above the wrists. You need to go back a tiny bit. Good, then we're gonna drop the knees right where they are and plant the chest between the hands on the floor. Keep your elbows close, awkward-esque pose. Slide the legs out so that your belly is on the floor, tops of the feet down. Hands are next to your chest, elbows pull back and toward you. And then inhale, open the chest forward and keep the neck long and loose. So you're gazing in front of you on the floor, and I want you to think about pulling your chest through, elongating in the low back. So maybe you tuck your tailbone toward the heels a little bit. No pinching in the back. Let's lift the hands to give a little more strength to the back muscles here. Breathe into your belly. If this is comfortable, if not, you can have the hands down. We just don't want to power through. We really want to use the back here. One more breath. Good, release the hands next to your chest. Chin down. And then we're going to push back into child's pose here. Sit back on your hips. If it's comfortable, you might use a blanket under your knees. Breathe into your back here. Good, inhale, come back to all fours. Tuck your toes, peel your hips up, downward dog. Take your time. And then we'll make our way to the front of the mat. So you can stroll up nice and mindfully. If you want to step up, that's fine. I want you to be light on the feet. So I want you to step up and not hear anything, making no sound as you come up to your forward fold. Bow over the legs, and then pull up, inhale, lift. Nice, smooth unfurling, back to the top of the mat, mountain pose, neutral pelvis, heavy suitcases. Good. Let's reach back, inhale, lift. Hands touch. Exhale, bow into forward bend. Soften those knees as you come down. Forehead tucks. Inhale, flat back, open your chest. And exhale, bow. Again, we'll plant the hands. This time we'll take the other leg back. So I'm on my left side now. We'll drop the back knee and uncurl the back toes. Check this alignment. Scissor the legs, pulling the feet toward each other to lift. Adding the arms when you're ready. Good, lifting up. Again, We want the shoulders relaxed, fingertips stretch. Scissoring toward the midline, feeling this in that back hip flexor here. Breathe. Good, let's take a breath in together. We'll use our exhale to float the hands down to frame the front foot. Walking it back slowly, draw the toes to the face, open the chest forward. Maybe using blocks. Connect to your breath. This knee can be soft, not straight, depending on how flexible you are in that hamstring. Couple breaths here. So again, allowing the breath to sort of soften us and deepen our stretch. So we're not forcing anything. We're relaxing into it. Inhale, open. Exhale, relax. Take one more breath. And we'll slowly come forward, plant the foot, plant the hands. Tuck your back toes as you lift the knee and lift the hips. We'll step it back to down dog. And pedal the feet out. Good. From here, slowly roll yourself up to a plank position. Lots of strength here. Spike energy through your heels, navel towards spine, gaze is long in front of you. Try not to look up at the screen. We'll drop the knees right where they are. And then plant the chest between your hands. I want you to think about bending the elbows and activate the core as you lower down slowly. Let the legs slide out underneath the tops of the feet down. Inhale, open the chest. Cobra. Let's lift the hands again if that's comfortable. Shoulders back. Elbows pull behind. Tailbone tucks. Moving the breath. One more breath. Good. Release the hands down. We're going to push back again, child's pose. Breathe into the back. Nice deep breath here. Good. Inhale, we'll come back to all fours. Let's tuck the toes. Slowly lift your hips, downward dog. Pedal the feet a little bit. Good. Bend your knees, and we'll make our way to the front of the mat. Again, your choice. Moving gently on the feet, mindfully. Back to forward fold. Roll yourself up. Breathing in. Shrug your shoulders as you open your chest. Back to mountain pose. I'm going to move my blanket out of the way. We're going to do a couple of standing postures. So from here, before we, let's do a little chair pose to kind of find a little more fire and strength in the belly. So feet are hip width apart. And then I want you to sink into a chair. So imagine you're sitting, but you're nice and tall here. We're not leaning forward. If you need to lean forward, that's okay. But try to keep your spine tall as best you can. So my hips are over my heels. So I'm feeling this in the back of my calves, getting a nice stretch there as well. And we're going to add the arms by the ears. So from here, we want to make sure, again, that pelvis is neutral. A lot of times we'll dump into the back here in chair pose, and we don't want to do that. Keep the tailbone pulling down toward the floor. Arms up. Good. And then maybe pull the arms back just a little bit more if you can. We're going to pulse here. So we're going to inhale, lift, straighten the legs. And then exhale, sink. Keep that core active and that tailbone nice and straight. Inhale up. Exhale, sink. Good. Inhale, lift. And exhale, sink. Good. Two more if you can. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink. Keep that spine tall. Pull the arms back. One more time up. And sink. Good, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower the arms back behind you, shrug your shoulders, open your chest. Excellent. We're gonna take our right leg back, or whichever side you want, a little bit for warrior one stance. So we're gonna aim the toes to the front corner of the mat and aim the hips toward the front. So heels of the hands on your hip points are a nice guide, so we can kind of aim them toward the front. Both feet are flat here. So you may not get totally square, that's okay, but we're aiming that direction. So torso, chest is open. We're gonna sink that front knee. So the knee is above the heel. This back leg is still grounded, that foot is planted. And then we want that pelvis neutral here as well. So this is pretty tough. We're getting a stretch here, and it's easy to try to dump into the back. So I want you to think about lifting, lengthening, send the arms up. Soften the shoulders, extend through your fingers. Breathe in and out. So take another breath here, warrior one. Good, breathe in. And then we're gonna exhale, straighten that leg and lower the arms by the side. Option here, grab opposite elbows behind the back. You could clasp the hands behind the back and pull the arms down. Or you could take prayer pose behind the back if that's accessible for you. That's pretty advanced, so don't worry about it. So wherever you are, we're lengthening. We're gonna lift the sternum up a little bit. Try to keep your pelvis neutral as you lift. Pull the hands down, lift the chest. Go in both directions, breathe in. And then slowly exhale. Keep the knees soft, not locked. Slowly exhale as you lower the torso over the front leg. So this leg can soften a bit. It doesn't have to be straight. But we're working on that front hamstring again. So lengthen. And if you're comfortable, maybe you bow all the way down inside the leg. Not necessary. Whatever works for you. I'm keeping my back foot planted and rooted in the floor. Breathing. Let's take one more breath here. Keep attention in that back foot, so we're not trying to dump into that front leg. We're just lengthening that front hamstring. And then we're gonna pull the hands or the elbows back and lift up. Use your strength to lift yourself back up. Release the hands. Good, and then turn to face the long edge of your mat. Feet are the same. Good, and then heel to arch or heel to heel alignment. Train tracks is fine, or whatever's comfortable for you. Now my hips are on this front edge of the mat. I'm going to send my arms out east-west, soften the shoulders, pull the hands out, gaze to the front hand, breathe in. And then we're going to, before we move, we're going to take our hips and bump them to the back of the mat. So away from that front leg. So we're shifting our hips to the other direction. So we want to avoid turning them out. So we're just shifting them in the same plane, side to side, that way to the back of the mat. Breathe in, look to the front hand. As you exhale, we're gonna reach, and then slowly lower to the front leg. So tipping your torso, if this is comfortable. If it's not, don't do it. So again, we wanna not lean on this leg. We're lifting, using this whole side strength of the body to lift up. The gaze can be down to the side or to the sky. Just don't let the head drop and stretch the neck. Keep the head supported. And keep the chest open. Try to keep open. Imagine you're between two panes of glass. So you don't have to come all the way down. You might use a block here. If you have one, that's handy. You don't need to. Good. One more breath. And then we're going to pull that top arm up. We're going to use our torso, the strength of our sides, ground your feet and lift back up. Good, lower the arms. Shake it out a little bit. And then we're just gonna pivot the feet to the other side. So switching sides. So I'm gonna take warrior one stance, back foot angles to the front, corner of the mat, train tracks or heel to arch. Aim the hips to the back of the mat now, other side. Check your hip points. Good. And then we're gonna sink into that leg, reach the arms up. Again, try to keep that pelvis neutral as best you can. Back foot grounded. Couple breaths here, warrior one. So knees above the heel, arms straight, shoulders soft, fingertips long. Nice and neutral in the pelvis. Gauge your core. Breathe. Take one more breath here. I find this pose is pretty challenging for so many reasons, but I feel like it's an easy one to dump into our back. We want to make sure we're not doing that. Good, and then let's exhale as we lower the arms and straighten that front leg. So we're gonna do the same clasp behind the back. I want you to switch arms, so it should feel awkward. So switch, if the hands were crossed, you're gonna switch the clasp. If you grabbed elbows, switch the way you grabbed, so that we can train our brain a little bit here in yoga today as well. Nice comfortable stance. Pull the hands toward, or the elbows toward the floor as you lift toward the sky away. Keep the pelvis neutral, keep your core engaged. So we're lengthening in both directions. Breathe in. And then exhale. Bring the heart forward. Wherever you want to be, that front leg can be soft. Keep the back foot grounded, keep the tension there. Maybe round all the way down. Maybe not. Keep connecting to your breath. Keep softening and opening. Take one more breath here. Good. Use your hands or your elbows to pull back, lift up. Nice and slow. Good. Releasing the hands or the elbows, and then turn the hips to face the long edge of the mat. Adjust your feet as you need. This is still on a bit of an angle. Now my hips are facing the long edge. I'm going to add the arms. Soften the shoulders, reach out with the fingertips. And again, bump your hips to the back of the mat again. Inhale. Look to the front, exhale, reach. Reach as far as you can reach, and then just tip the torso. Top arm comes up. If that's not comfortable, you're welcome to keep the arm out of the equation. Hand behind the back is an option to keep the chest open. Don't lean on that leg. We're using our side body for strength, our core for strength. Open the chest. Comfortable gaze. Keep the breath moving. Lots of strength in triangle pose here. We're not just hanging out. Good. One more breath. And again, the knees don't need to be locked. They can be soft. We're going to use that top arm and the torso to lift nice and strongly. Lift up. Good. Exhale, lower the arms by the side. Nice job. Let's turn this back foot in. So now both feet are facing the front. Let's heel toe the feet back together, coming to the center of the mat. And let's just kind of shake it out a little bit. So shift the hips around. Maybe shrug the shoulders. Good, and then let's do a brief balance pose. So I'm gonna have us do, let's do the tree. So starting in the mountain pose, you're gonna shift the weight to one leg. You're gonna fix your gaze. You could use a wall if you need. And remember to micro bend that standing leg you're gonna start with. So once you feel steady, again, engage the core, heavy suitcases in the hands. Taking the sole of the other foot to the ankle with the toe down, the calf or the thigh. Don't use your knee. Feel the energy pressing into the midline as you bring the hands to the chest. And then send your arms up wherever you'd like. Breathe. Shoulders are soft, fingers extend. Smooth breath. Nice active core. We're open through here, so we're not bringing that leg forward. If you fell out, don't worry about it. Just try again. Take one more breath. Good. Slowly bring your hands to your chest as you come down, releasing the foot. Shake it out. And we'll switch sides. Sometimes it's nice to envision like roots going down from the sole of the foot into the core of the earth. That's a nice visual for balance as well. And then we want to activate in our mountain pose. Shift the weight to the other side. Micro bend your knee joint. Fix your gaze. Keep breathing. And then when you feel steady, sole of the foot to the ankle, the calf, or the thigh. Feeling that energy toward the midline, bring the hands to the heart. When you're steady, slowly extend your arms, shoulders ground, fingertips stretch. Breath moves nice and smooth through the body. You might even envision a little lift at the corner of the mouth and the eyes and the back of the head. Energetically lifting as you ground through the foot. One more breath here. It will slowly descend, release, and shake it out. Excellent. Let's come back to the front of the mat. We're going to come down to the ground. Actually, let's, hold on. Skip that. Come to mountain pose at the front of the mat. Neutralize your pelvis. Reach back. Inhale. Stretch up tall. Touch your hands and then exhale. Soften your knees and fold. Forward bend. Plant your hands and let's step both feet back to downward dog. Good. Hips lift. Chest opens. Fingers engaged. Good. And then we're going to take one leg in the sky, taking my right leg up first. I'm going to bend the knee. Keep the core engaged so we're not dumping into the back. Keep the tailbone tucked a little bit. With that bent knee, we're going to come up for pigeon. So squeeze that knee up and plant it between your hands. And if this is not comfortable for your knee, you'll do figure 4 on your back. So we're going to come onto fingertips if you're in the pigeon. Open the chest here. Back foot is straight. Hips are equidistant to the mat. Lift up, breathe in. And then exhale, slowly come down, either to forearms, stacked fists. You might stay here. Figure 4 on the back is an alternate. If that's not comfortable, you come onto the back, cross the knee, reach through the hole, and connect behind the other thigh. So whatever is better for your body, and it might be different today than it was yesterday, so it's all good. And then we're going to just soften the breath. So I want you to soften the brow and the jaw. Maybe even open the jaw and then relax it. Breathe into your hip. Each out breath, we're softening and letting go of tension. So keep releasing. You might even sigh it out. Good, and then nice and slow, let's take one more breath on this side. We will walk the hands back. Frame that knee, open your chest. Take a deep breath in here. We'll plant the hands and tuck the back toes And slowly take it back to downward dog. Pedal your feet out. And then if you're taking figure four, we'll switch sides. If you're taking pigeon, we'll switch sides. Make sure the knee's okay over here. Lift that other leg, left leg up, bend the knee. Tuck the tailbone, engage your core, pull the leg up. Nice and slow. Plant it between your hands. Foot comes out to the side, straight leg, all the way back. Come onto fingertips, lift and open the chest as you breathe in. And exhale as you make your way into your pigeon pose on this side. Make sure your hips are equal to the floor. You're not twerking and sitting on the side here. So we're nice and even, so that hip shouldn't really be on the floor most likely. And breathe. Soften. Again, you might play with opening the mouth wide and relax the jaw. I find there's a nice mirror image of the jaw and the hips. So if you have tight hips, sometimes that's reflected in a tight jaw and vice versa. So good to notice that or check that. And maybe sigh it out. Soften the shoulders and the brow. And one more breath on this side. Inhale, we'll slowly walk the hands back. Come on to fingertips, open the chest. Deep breath in here. Plant those hands, tuck your back toes, and step back, downward dog. Good, pedal the feet one more time. Good, and then slowly drop the knees. Release the feet. Push back over the hips, child's pose. Relax the forehead. Take a deep breath into the back body here. Good, walk your hands back. We're gonna swing our legs around to the front and come all the way down to the back. So stretch your legs out, lift the flesh from your hips, flex the feet maybe. Hands on the thighs, engage your core, tuck your chin, and slowly roll yourself down if that works for you. You can come down to the ground a different way if this doesn't feel right. Just a little challenge for the core. Good, and then once you're on your back, take a deep breath in and out. Let's sigh it out through the mouth again. And let go of tension. Good. And then we're going to bend the knees to place the feet on the floor again. And then you're going to take the right knee into the chest. Squeeze it in. And then send your left leg up into the sky. Flex the foot. Good. We're going to turn the left foot out to on an angle to the side, about 45 degrees. You're going to place your hand outside of your leg for support. Right knee on the right bent leg. Breathe in. And slowly open the legs apart from one another, supporting your extended leg. So only go as far as is comfortable till you feel a stretch on the inner thigh. And I'm not using a strap here, so you can if you want to, you don't have to. I just wanted to kind of show it without a strap. But you could have a strap across your extended leg if you want. Nice to know you can do this stuff without props though. But props are also good. So here we are, stretching, breathing. Supporting that leg as much as you need. Good. Slowly, we're going to bring the legs back up to the center. You're going to plant this bent right leg on the floor. You're going to take this extended leg and turn the whole leg internally now. So we're rotating the whole leg inside. to the internal direction. Walk this outside foot further out. And then we're gonna bring them again to the midline. So we're kind of crossing our legs. So this leg is on an angle and you should feel that in the outer hip pretty quickly. So when you do, you can pause. You can support the leg with the hand. Again, you could use a strap here if you want, extending the other arm down. But again, not necessary. So, oh yeah, feeling that on the outside of the leg. Nice breath. The knee can be a little soft. If you straighten it, you're going to feel it a little deeper. And if you bring that foot toward the floor, you'll feel it in the ankle and the outside of your shin as well. Pull out our leg, getting a nice stretch. Breathe. One more breath. And this leg is kind of here for support on the inside of the thigh. Good. Let's stretch the leg back up to the top. You can bring this foot in. And then flex that foot toward your face. Leg, again, can be a little bent. Doesn't have to be straight. It might be further out than mine. Wherever you are is great. I want you to think about creating length. Stretch the leg out as far as you can. Pull through the heel, toes toward the face, and slowly lower the leg down with control. Engage your core. Keep your low back kind of pressing down to keep that core active. Good, and then release that leg. And then let's take a moment just to stretch both legs out, see how that feels. We'll bend the knees again, feet on the floor. Draw the left knee into your chest now, squeeze it in. Take the right leg up, nice and straight, and flex the foot. Squeezing in here, hand outside of the leg. We're gonna rotate this leg 45 degrees externally. So we're rotating the whole leg in the socket that way. Support the hip. Keep the hand outside of the thigh. Keep the leg, head, neck, and shoulders on the floor relaxed. Breathe in. Slowly we'll exhale as we open both legs out. Supporting this leg until you feel a nice stretch to the inner thigh and the groin. Breathe. Should feel comfortable in the back body. So you might use a strap. You might not. Good, one more breath. Slowly come back up. Plant this left foot on the floor, walk it out to the side. This leg is going to turn the other way internally. The whole leg rotates in. Good, and then slowly exhale, pull it across the body. Other leg comes in to meet it. So you feel a stretch. Maybe the ankle comes toward the floor. Maybe you pull the foot down, maybe not. Good, a nice stretch here. Breathe into that. Supporting the leg. Whole back is still grounded. Nice and slowly bring that leg back up. Walk that other foot in a little bit. Flex the foot. Again, press through the heel. Extend the leg. Slowly lower down as you engage the core. Keep the core tight a little bit. And release down. Good. Shake out the legs. Stretch your feet out. Let the feet flop out. If you have any lower back tension, you can bend the knees. Or place a blanket under your legs, knees toward the center. Back feels good, legs can stretch, feet flop out. Tuck your shoulders under your chest to open the heart, palms face up. Fingers curl toward the palm as they relax. Make sure the neck is neutral. Gently rock your head a little bit side to side. Bring your head back to center. Allow the eyes to gently close. Allow your lips to part so that the jaw is soft. Maybe open the mouth again, nice and wide. And relax the jaw. Relax your entire body completely. Relax. 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 And if you have time to stay in this position a little longer, I encourage you to do that. And I apologize, I didn't give us a lot of time for a final resting pose. I have really bad habit of going over my hour. So apologies for that. Okay, so slowly ring the chime. Take your time, no rush. Just gently wiggle your fingers and your toes to bring awareness back into the body. Maybe rock your head side to side. And then make your way onto the right side of your body for a moment, coming into a fetal posture, noticing any changes between now and the beginning of class. Maybe recall if you set an intention or dedication for your practice. And as you're ready, use your left hand to push yourself back up to a comfortable seated posture. Take your time. We'll meet an easy pose using a blanket or a prop if you need to sit up on something. Engage the core a little bit, sit up nice and tall. And let's inhale as we sweep the arms up together. Deep breath in. Gathering energy, seal the hands at the top and lower them down to your heart. And bow to yourself with gratitude for practicing today. We'll bow to each other. Namaste.